It's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon Speaks Live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon Speaks Live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive.
E ono ngā poti e whakahe. Hawana, hawhakamanu whiriti a koe au. Kamate, kamate,
I'm about to sample this.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
Man, that probably means y'all should go back to Europe, bro.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank.
Damn.
This video goes out to all my Fijians, my Polynesians, my Melanesians, my Samoans, my Hawaiians, all of you Southeast Asian people, right? And this is coming from an African American, a foundational Black African. This is coming from the common sense African American. Not the hateful, because I gotta qualify. There are elements of our community who are hateful and unknowledgeable about anything outside of America, and that's America's fault. Okay, but I just wanted to say this because I've always believed this, and I know I have a lot of Southeast Asians from that area that watch me, and I know when y'all look at me, y'all looking at me, you're like, hey, that could be my brother, and I've always been mistaken for one of you guys, always, my entire life. That has been my main other, because I have a unique look, right? And when I was bigger, I used to be a big guy, at one point, and I had a big old I most definitely look like one of you guys. And let me tell you what I think I can speak for Black people, with common sense, who are worldly, who knows, especially ones who know history, geography, and how and human migration.
You're talking to me, bro.
When an African sees you, right? I want you to understand, I'm talking to you guys from as if a Black man looking across millennia. A Black man who's looking at you from 10,000 years ago. Someone who can see his family from 10,000, from 20,000 years ago. Despite all the bullshit between Africa and where you guys reside.
Right. Despite
all the racism and all the miscommunication and misunderstanding, despite all that, when Africans see you, something inside of us says, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my family. We know you are a family.
Immediately.
And yes, there are some people that try to say that you're not Black. There are some people who, because they equate Blackness with just being an American, African American. There are some people who try to gatekeep it. But understand, Black doesn't belong to those people. All right. No. And when we say we look at you and we see y'all as us, it's because something inside us, as we are, as you know, we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. And a mother and a father can always recognize their biological children.
Yeah.
And somehow you guys have managed to make it all.
Oh, hold up, y'all. Video froze up on me again.
Wow, you guys have managed to make it all the way over there without changing too much to where we can't recognize you. You see, everybody else has changed. Everybody else has turned into this. has mutated into that, right? But you guys, for some reason, you guys
because they still by the
stayed
equator.
strong and stayed similar. Not only in your looks, but in your culture. When I see the Fijians, when I see the Samoans, when I see the Australians, the Micronesians, all I see is my brothers and sisters who left a long time ago. And I'm glad that you guys survived. I'm glad that you guys made it.
Me too.
That's how I feel. That's how most of us feel. When we see you guys do your Hakai, right? When we see that, there's something inside that connects with us because we feel like there's something there that tells us that also belongs to us somewhere along the line. That you took that power, the silence between the sounds, that passion and energy, that earth spirit. It seems like you carried that along all the way over there. And I have to be honest, you guys are one of the greatest successes of the African people.
Yes, they are.
You guys are one of our success stories.
Yeah.
As we ventured out of the continent of Africa, following the migratory patterns of animals that we use for subsistence, because that's how y'all got there.
Yeah. That's how they got there.
And many of you didn't change, and I know a lot of you guys are being hidden by the greater white dominant society. A lot of you guys are being hidden by the Han, like northern Asian society, who likes to pretend like you don't exist.
Yeah, they do.
But I've been to the Philippines, and I've seen the original Filipinos. I lived in Japan, and I've seen those original Japanese. I haven't been to Australia, but we all know they black. And I know that you Micronesians, Melanesians, all of you guys, New Zealand, I know all of you guys are just cousins. All of you guys are brothers and sisters. And y'all walked and y'all sailed. You are the greatest sailors in humankind. You guys even made it to South and Southern America to the point to where even Africans believe that it was us who came this direction, when in fact it was actually you guys. There's still a population of you Melanesian, Micronesian subgroup DNA-wise in South America, in Peru. There's still a small population of you guys before you guys mixed with those other Asians that came over the Bering Strait from Alaska and Russia over to an American and came down and met you guys somewhere in Central or South America.
Right.
It pisses African Americans off, and I'm gonna be honest, when we see those white Europeans cosplaying you, when we see them doing your dances, when we see them pretending to be like you, it's offensive to us because it's equal to some European pretending to be African and stealing our culture and stealing our ways of life and stealing our spirit after trying to crush our spirit. And we see those Europeans doing their Hakai dance, the Hakai dance, and pretending to be you. When we in fact that we know that when they do it is empty. I would love nothing more.
They got too much Neanderthal
to see a bunch of Africans follow the lead of one of you guys in a Hakai ceremony. And excuse me if I'm saying it wrong. I would love to see African Americans, continental Africans, fellowship more in a more intimate a more intimate manner with you guys, because we are we remember that we are spirits. We love and cherish the earth. We love and cherish everybody, and there's not that many people on the planet that have just the natural love and care for humanity wholeheartedly than you guys. I've been all over the world, and I've seen how people act naturally. We see how certain groups of people act naturally, culturally, and I have to say that you guys emulate us the most because you are us. And don't ever let anybody question your blackness.
Right.
Don't let even a person who looks like me, don't ever let an African American, anybody question your blackness, because your blackness goes further back than any concept of modern day society.
Right.
You guys are the superheroes of humanity. Do you understand that? The things that you guys have accomplished with the technology and the connection with nature. You guys managed to circumnavigate the world on living boats. Something the Europeans couldn't do. Even their claim to fame is sailing all over the world, but you guys did it first. You guys sailed the world. You circumnavigated the world in such a beautiful, dangerous way. I can imagine how many passed away circumnavigating the world, the world, populating all those islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. When I see that daunting, the daunting distances, in my mind, I just can't imagine how you did it, but I know how you did it. You followed the stars. People forget that before maps, we followed the stars. And I know y'all got that from us Africans, because we was following the stars tens of thousands of years ago. Yeah. That's how we navigated the planet. That's how we walked our way out of that massive continent. That's how we walked through Southeast Asia all the way to the other side until we couldn't go anymore, and then we just got on boats and went. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that we African people absolutely feel kinship with you, and you are black. You are our first, you are amongst the first group to leave Africa, to explore this planet, to conquer this world. And I just want to say I appreciate and I love all of you, Southeast Asian, Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, any kind of, if I'm missing a Nesian, let me know. Hawaiians, Samoans, all of you. Now, I do know within your communities there may be some racism towards Africans, but I know that's propaganda. And I'm not worried about those who deny their blackness. I'm not worried about those who hate us, but because I know the majority of you guys love us and you view yourselves as us. And don't let anybody who ain't us tell us who we are. All right? Because we Africans know who you are. When you sing, we know who you are. When you dance, we know who you are. So I just want you to understand that. There is a Fijian right now that's in America, and every time I see him, he makes me smile. He look like he'd be my brother.
That's dope.
Almost every Fijian I've ever seen look like they could be my brother. Like straight blood brother.
Right. Because
that's how connected we are. Right? It doesn't matter how far our genetics has changed. That just shows that you guys have went that far. That just shows that you guys have traveled that far in the future. But we all been together this whole time. And one day when we, create a better world, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to kumbaya and we'll be able to look at each other's cultures and see the similarities that has lasted over the test of time. One of the greatest stories of mankind. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. If you ever wondered how African people feel about you, or ever been surprised that any African will stop and listen to that Hakat, and something in our soul just tells us to stop and pay attention to our biological family that's traveled, circumnavigated the world, but still remembers who they are. Unlike many who have forgotten who they are and where they come from. And because of that, they are, in fact, suffering. But I do believe that one day, peace and the way of life that we have created before things got out of hand, before other groups of people have taken in charge and destroyed humanity for the sake of greed, for the sake of gluttony, for the sake of egotistical means, for the sake of property and things.
For nothing.
I believe one day we'll get back to that. But it's going to take kind-hearted people like you guys to remain. Please don't ever change. Continue to be who you are. The wonderful, beautiful people of Southeast Asia. In those beautiful islands that you guys have populated and made wonderful. Before certain groups of people decided to come and tear it down and destroy it and steal it. The same way they stole the Native Americans' identity. The same way they stole the South Africans' identity. The same way they gallivant around the world pretending to be all these cultures that they're not. Because they are missing something on the inside.
Yeah, they are.
That's why they continue to take it from those who have something. And they say that we don't have anything because we have everything that they want.
But they come everywhere we
And no matter how much stuff they produce, no matter how much stuff they steal, no matter how much they cosplay, they could never be us. Ever. So this is just a quick video. I just want to say shout out to my brothers and sisters on the other side of the planet. We see you, we hear you, and we love you forever over the distance, time, and moral. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Peaceful village. We are our first landed.
Oh, okay.
People, they came, say that they came from Africa.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. They landed here at Funda Point.
Funda Point, okay.
Yeah. And then the ship was wrecked. Okay. And then they swam the shore, and then they came over here. Probably the first village was up in the interior.
Oh.
And after that, came over here. We chose this wonderful place before the coast.
I see.
Yeah. Whenever went heavy rain, we don't flooded here.
That said it all. Not only the first Africans who settled here out of Africa were sailors and explorers, but also among them were mathematicians, engineers, and above all, geologians. They studied the island and settled in a place that won't be affected by flood. That note negates all that's been said by some Western writers and historians, that Africans were nothing but savages.
Yeah, that go away.
This is Varney. His family has just moved to the... Varney doesn't know his way around.
Don't take that
so
plane,
Father
though.
tells Rapopo and Davila to take him with them to school this morning. In school, the teacher wears sandals and a long native dress. The children are used to having classes out of doors. Now the teacher for it. The other children work. Children of the Fiji Islands learn is rapidly finishing the roof of the new house. It will keep out the rain and the hot sunlight. Today,
how come the stupid slave ship story didn't arrive in Pacific Islands?
Honestly, my favorite thing about Fiji is that the people are black. Like, this must be how white people feel when they go to Europe. Additionally, not only are Fijians black, but they're black indigenous people. That is a whole different experience. It just really shifts the whole thought and idea of your existence as a black person on this earth. Exactly. I promise you, when you go to a place where everybody is black, like, you just, it's just a whole different experience. Yeah. Like, for me, the biggest compliment I've gotten while I was here is, oh, I thought you were Fijian. Oh, yes. I hope you think I'm Fijian, because then the people treat you different. I have a much more local experience. It's just, you get treated differently when you're not viewed as a tourist. I mean, I'm still a tourist, obviously, but the first impression of me is not that I'm a tourist. It's like, oh, she's from here. And that opens so many doors. So that being said, honestly, if you're black, I mean, go everywhere. But you will have a great time when you go to the countries where the people are also black. Those places have been my personal fave because the camaraderie between the people are just different.
Polynesia, Melanesia, Micronesia, that whole entire region does have an African connection, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but too bad, because where there's African history, it's no longer your history.
Ain't that crazy that they don't want us to know our history, though? Like, that's what lets you know these people got to be the most lost people on earth, for them to go out of their way to hide something from us. But I just got through arguing or talking to this white racist dude in my comment section, and I had to educate him on who he was in reference to us, right? I had to let him know his people was taught by our people in Europe for 800 years when the Moors, the black African Moors, ruled over Europe and gave them culture. And the reason why when they start colonizing all these these black places, they didn't want to give us culture, and they wanted to keep culture away from us because they knew we would most likely do what they ended up doing to our people once they had that knowledge. They rose up. They was in the dark ages. Africans went over there and brought them out of the dark ages. They didn't even know how to wash their ass over there in Spain, in Morocco. In Portugal, in the Iberian Peninsula. They didn't even know how to wash their ass. So just imagine Spain being the first superpower of the world. How did Spain become the first superpower of the world? From that knowledge that they was taught for 700, close to 800 years in Europe. And they wanted to keep that knowledge. They never envisioned this day. They never envisioned a day where Africans all over the world would know that we are not only not minorities, they are the damn minority. They like 10 to 15% of the population in the world. This is the colonizers' worst nightmare, that we would have this technology and be able to look at each other and see, like, look at us. And then start to come to some type of understanding with each other all over the world, and then start to flip this mindset. But that's why your evil ancestors had to create these weapons of mass destruction, because the truth is even stronger than them dang on nuclear bombs. But that's what y'all created them for. Once y'all knew that one day we would find each other and we would find out that y'all was lying. Y'all ancestors knew that. That's why they were so evil and wicked to create them dang on weapons to try to keep us in check. But in a minute, them weapons ain't gonna be worth nothing. Trust me. Y'all gonna try to use them on your damn self. And we're gonna have to keep y'all from using them on yourself. We're gonna have to save y'all from y'all damn self. That's what's going on. All because y'all wanted to believe a goddamn lie. Let's finish this video.
Okay? And I can prove this to you. I'm gonna address this person here, not Asian than it is Africa. This is one of the most white supremacist languages that exist when it comes to that region of the world, right? One thing you'll never hear me do.
Let's rewind it back.
Here, not touchy. Okay, not touchy, you don't have any pictures. So I don't know what you are, but at least you are coming forward as a Fijian. So which means that you are from the Fiji Islands. You say we Fijians are not African. We are Melanesian. Our DNA is closer to Asian than it is Africa. This is one of the most white supremacist languages that exist when it comes to that region of the world, right? One thing you'll never hear me do is to say we have connections with the Aboriginal people of Australia. I have tried. There's literally nothing that I can find that is similar to African culture, anything with the Aboriginal people. They're the only group so far, one of the only groups. Fijian, don't know what your problem is, Natacha, but we're going to fix it today. Oh, he's not done, I'm sorry. He says, our DNA have been around for a very long time, mostly here in the Pacific Islands, proving that we are descendants of the Austronesian people, the first people to settle the Pacific Islands. Natacha, you settled the Pacific Islands coming from where? Because this chest, big chest that you're pushing out, they're saying that you are nowhere close to Africans. I know where that comes from. I've been on the internet long enough, before you probably were on the internet. And I know how white racist boys have created this narrative. Talking about people from Papua New Guinea are just so far removed from people in Africa. They'll go as far as saying people from Papua New Guinea are closer to white than they are to Africa. So I know where this comes from. Our DNA has been around for a very long time, mostly here in the Pacific Islands, proving that we are descendants of the Austronesian people, the first people to settle the Pacific Islands, okay? So you don't know what the word settle means because you don't know where your people came from, okay? You can come from a place and land from a place and create a history there, okay? Your history doesn't start there, and your identity cannot start there, because where you came from, you were linked with other people. The reason I already know that you don't know what you are talking about is the fact that you think that we don't understand what Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia is. Let me start by saying that I live in Hawaii, okay? So I'm around Polynesians and I'm around Micronesians. I don't think there's any much Melanesians, I don't know. But Micronesians, Polynesians, everywhere in Hawaii. And let me tell you, they don't have the same issues that you are addressing here. But as a person from Fiji, who's coming from the Melanesian Islands, you know Melanesian means black, right? Melanin, black. That's the whole reason why they did that. Is because the people there looked black, okay? I'm going to start out right there with a little bit of something from Fiji and possibly Papua New Guinea. Please keep this map in mind because I want to show you, like when I say Polynesian, I want you to know how far Polynesian islands are far from these Melanesian islands and how far these Melanesian islands are from Micronesian islands. Right? But common sense also lets us know that you could not possibly be in the Malaysian islands like in Fiji and never have made it to the Polynesian islands in Tonga and didn't make it to all these other islands here. Okay, if people can go from this island to this island, these people can go to this island, and so back and forth. These are the ancient people of Fiji, right? The black and white one, making him probably one of the oldest in this picture. I don't know. But the one at the bottom too, that's Fiji, and the group of people up there, those are Fijian people. So you got on the internet and you said that you are more related to a whole other group of people than you are to Africans. That's Fiji. Please pay attention to that nose flute, okay? That nose flute is important because it pops up in many, many parts of the world, but that's because a lot of it came later, right? I saw one that says German, and these Germans were playing the nose flute. That came to them much, much earlier because this is a very, very ancient tool, and you find it amongst ancient communities. Okay, these are the Tonga people, and there's some more. Okay, now Tachi, when we are talking about Black people and African history, we are not talking about this people that look like this today. When we are talking about our history and our connection with us and you being Fiji and or whatever it is that you come from, we are talking about this group of people, and the other Black group of people that even came before them. Okay? You think that we don't understand that this is a new and that this is ancient. We know the difference. And so when I need you to understand that when we are talking about this, we are talking about this. This is Vanuatu, right up there with the Indonesian islands also. This is the history we're talking about. Stop bringing people whose skin has already mixed with some light-skinned Asians and all types of groups of people, and now they have straight hair. That's not the group we are talking about. And it even goes as far as they'll say, oh, we are not close to, the Nesian crew. Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, the green, yellow, and purple. They believe that they are closer to the pink and the orange. I believe that's Southeast Asia. But here's the problem with ancient Southeast Asia. This is ancient Southeast Asia. So it's not connecting to you just yet, right? You think that when we are talking about our history, that we are talking about people, that how people look like today. When you have an ancient history like Africans do, okay? Our history goes way back. And so you need to focus when you are talking to us to understand which era and which timeline we are referencing, because you may not even appear in these timelines that we are talking about. Okay? Remember the nose flute from Fiji? Guess where you see it again? You see it in Hawaii. Why? Because Hawaii are Polynesians. Mr. Nose Flute Fiji? Okay. Mr. We are not related to Africans? Okay. Hawaii, Fiji, nose flute. Again, the nose flute is found even in Malaysian cultures and in all those other cultures. But when you take it back into the most indigenous cultures, that's who we are talking about. Okay. Like I said, if you see a picture of Germans with the nose flute, that's more colonial. They used it after. It's not something that's theirs. Okay. So be mindful when you're looking at pictures. Who else does and plays this nose flute, right? So the other thing too with African imagery is that sometimes it's not like every picture of Africans doing every single thing was always, captured, right? But we do know that there are Tanzanian tribes that have a culture, a history behind this that is also involved in their traditions, right? So where does the nose flute come from? From ancient societies. Do you know what else you cannot fight? Natachi. This print found in Burkina Faso and West Africa. If you can find this video, go find it and check all those comments out. Fijians who are not anti-African know the history. Africans who are not anti-other people know this part of history. There's nothing wrong understanding that before you settle somewhere, you came from somewhere. And for the most part, we are the keepers of that history. where most people came from, okay? Not you. And I know you think that maybe being 5,000 years old or 50,000 years old is a big deal, okay? Africans go back hundreds and thousands of years, okay? And as much as we have about tens and thousands of history and knowledge. We're not talking because we're trying to look like you or we want you to look like us. It's because you have a little bit of our history in you and we have the right to come and take it out. Dango.
This is the way we're taking care of our afro in Fiji. In Fiji, we call buininga. Great mothers and pass it to us. So we have to keep it, our Fijian culture, alive in nowadays.
Beautiful.
No
Look at that goddess.
After you just
y'all see that?
And then you use
that hair?
Your hand to shape it.
This
hairstyle, with the young girls nowadays, you hardly get to see this style here, the buininga.
I just want to keep and maintain
that afro,
my
that
own culture.
melanin.
Everyone say, oh, if they can straighten the hair, why can't we? Then after a while they regret because they lost their texture, can't get back their afro.
Before, when we look for our mothers, our grandmothers, they all have long buininga. But today, it's hardly to see the buininga in the village.
I'm so proud because we are encouraging our friends out there to wear the same hairstyle that we have.
We have to be proud of that, because they are our traditional. It's our Fijian culture.
I'm Fijian. Of course, I live in the happiest place on earth.
I'm Fijian, of course.
The Garden of Eden, literally. Oh, see that? Got everything they need.
You know, I told you this week or probably next week and continue is going to be like world history of finding where the Black and African people are. Did you know some of the earliest non-indigenous settlers in Fiji were Black? Let's talk about this legacy of the lives on the Fiji culture, especially today. So when you think about Fiji, we often have like a picture of like white sand beaches and indigenous Malaysian roots, right? But there's more to the story. Like during the 1800s and early 1900s, the British Empire transported thousands of indentured laborers to, while many came from India, laborers from like Africa and Caribbean, especially places like Guyana and Trinidad and Jamaica. Interesting, huh? These Black laborers were brought in after the abolition of slavery under what the British called coolie system. Interesting. But don't let that name fool you, coolie, right? It was exploitive. It's not a nice name, and it was brutal. Many of these people were promised freedom after they set numbers of years, but often faced poor working conditions, little to no pay, and the separation from their families. Repetitive, right? Around the world. If you thought it would just happen in America, think again. So despite some of this, something beautiful did happen. Like every time culture fusions, intermixing, these Black laborers like intermarried with indigenous Fijians, and their descendants like contributed to everything from the local language to the music, to the food, to the fashion. You can still find Fijians today with African textured hair and dark skin tones. I've seen it. Now it all makes sense. Proudly honoring both their Malaysian and African Caribbean roots. Don't believe me? Look it up. I just watched. YouTube's your friend. So yes, these stories are rarely told. Like the colonial records minimize their presence. And over generations, this history was nearly erased. But it's still there because the people are still alive. Traditions and sharing their life. I mean, y'all, so now that you know the legacy of Black laborers in Fiji, how do you want to make sure this story doesn't get erased. What do you remember what I share? You can always dig a little bit more because we can all be curious together, right? Let me know which one surprised you. And stay tuned because your girl got more. I'm just trying to make these shorter because I got too much information to keep going. Unless I have a victory story, I will go deep diving. And y'all know it's about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. Ookies, stay curious.
I will forever be very grateful to my Auntie Keisha for showing me how to take care of my hair. I only got my hair sponged for the first time last year, and for whatever reason, I have just never really known what you can do with my hair. Didn't grow up around many people that had the same hair as me. So went to a beautiful family dinner tonight with one of my very good friends, Kiani, and her beautiful mother, my Auntie Keisha. She gave me the whole game.
I can have these? Yeah, he said, because he's locked. So he can't use them.
And now I'm locked in.
Let us pray.
Oh, it really does. Wow.
Once I do this in your hair and it's moisturized,
This is amazing.
it'll be great.
It already looks different.
Yeah. We just need to get you a chain and a grill in your transformation.
Hey, Tom, stay down. Talking about. Oh my God.
I just whooped him and she did not say that. Okay, so it has rosemary and mint in it, so you might feel hair right now, and you'll see that it's still dry, but it might feel a little bit more.
So is that kind of crazy that it's that dry? It is?
It's not rare though.
Your hair is healthy. It's just dry. That's all.
Oh, okay.
He was like,
A little. Oh, damn.
Keisha does this for like all the kids.
Really?
I do, because I cannot stand them walking around with dry hair.
Like wash their hair.
It used to
It's a whole
be.
regimen.
It is. Like the baking soda and vinegar on locks is so critical.
Alright.
I guess because
I didn't realize this video was just dang on long. Alright, I'm gonna watch all of this. So yeah, man. Oh yeah, this is beautiful right here. I think this the end of this video though. That's her here. Let's go. So yeah, man. That's her hair. That is amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna add the link to this video in my description. Y'all can go check out Afro Think Tank, one of my favorite channels. I don't even know bro name, but I believe he from the DC area, Maryland, Virginia, DC area. And like I said, y'all go check him out, man. One of my favorite channels. I think he got 2 channels. This is OG channel, but he got another channel called Afro Think Tank Futurism. So if you look that up, you'll be able to find his other channel. So yeah, let's get into, you know, my commentary. I might have made that play a little bit too long. I might add something in there to help y'all fast forward to get to this part. So yeah, if y'all stayed here and you watch to this part, man, this is my part. This is kind of like where I'm gonna tie all of that in. So the reason why I titled my thumbnail "We Are Us Genetically," and the reason why I gave the video that other title is the colonizers are mad right now. Man, y'all gotta understand, like, the reason, the motivation to keep us from finding out the truth about who we really are is really the key to all of these Europeans being in power right now. Because a lot of us have lost knowledge of who we really are. We didn't have no way. If they in Melanesia and Fiji and Polynesia, all of them different places, you know, they on islands. You know, they don't really know who anyone is too much. You know, I'm sure they knew who the oceanic people were, but outside of that, you know, you talking thousands of years, people settled and they never really left. So the Europeans, when they start colonizing, they kind of took advantage of that. They took advantage of the fact that the world was basically settled by Africans, but none of the civilizations knew exactly where all of the other civilizations were. Right? So to be able to, and it all started, like I said earlier, it all started when the Africans were taken over parts of Europe, which was Spain and Portugal. And they gave them knowledge. The Africans gave the Europeans knowledge of who they were. They had lost focus of who they were. You know, they was in the dark ages. They had kind of forgot about the Roman times during that time period. And once they gave them knowledge, they started to use that knowledge for bad, for evil, for wickedness. And that was when race was invented. The whole concept of modern day race was invented around that time. After they was given knowledge, they started creating lies with the knowledge. And that's called tricknology. That's called tricknology. So once they created that first lie, which was race and saying that black people were inferior, that was in direct response to all of the Africans that was in their area for 800 years ruling over them. So they did the exact opposite of what the Africans did when they ruled over them in their own land, which they gave them knowledge and they gave them culture. And so about 100 years before Spain and Portugal kicked the last stronghold out of Europe, which was a place called Granada, Portugal started sending people to Africa to scope out, basically surveying the land, studying the people. And so, you know, as y'all all know, the whole motivation for Christopher Columbus, which just so happened to coincide with the last year that the Moors, the black Africans, were kicked out of Europe. The last stronghold was Granada. That same year, Christopher Columbus sailed to find a new route to India, but he went the other way, which was going west, and he inadvertently found America by happenstance. And that's how Spain became the first superpower of the world. Now, with that knowledge that they had, and with the blessing of the Catholic Church to enslave anybody that's black, any dark person, because they told them that they were inherently like beasts. You know, they weren't people. They was less human, and they need to save them with Christianity. And as y'all know the story, they brought smallpox over there, decimated them, and all of that, right? So, but the point I'm trying to make here with all of this is they knew who we were, and they banked on us not knowing who we were. And during the transatlantic slave, you know, trade, after that, here in America, they doubled down and made sure we didn't even know our native tongue. Even in South America, Mexicans, they don't even know their native tongue to this day. Most of them don't. A lot of Mexicans think that Spanish is their native language. And I don't know how they could think that, but the point I'm trying to make is, man, like, we have knowledge of who we are now. Now we know we are connected. We know we are connected. We know we all came from the same place. Even the Mexicans. And just like what Afro Think Tank said, it's a small group over there in South America that actually are directly related to the Fijians. And that's just wonderful to know that them people traveled all over the world from Africa, just like the Australians did. It's amazing, man, when I think about it. And it's just so dope that we can find each other online and communicate with each other and build alliances and bridges and, start to travel to each other's homes and reconnect, and that's what I'm hoping, in the near future we do. And the Europeans that went there and manipulated and, and turned all of our cultures inside out. And, basically they so stupid, they don't know who they are. They don't know where they from. And that's the problem. So they, the Europeans' whole goal was to make sure that dark people didn't know who they were because they didn't know who they were. The Europeans didn't know who they were. So they wanted to make sure we was just as dumb as them. That was their whole goal. When Africans came over here to this country, they wanted to make sure we was dumb as them, not knowing who we were. Right? And that's kind of how you see us, over here in this country at each other's throat. We lost in the sauce, just like these Europeans. They lost in the sauce. They know exactly where they came from, but they over here talking about they not from where they from. And then when they do talk about it, they talk about it. A lot of them just confused. That's why they had to come up with that 23andMe genealogy stuff. They don't know where they from. And they had every opportunity to know where they from. So they lost knowledge of themselves purposely. But they had to force our people to lose knowledge of ourselves. Because had we known and kept our traditions here in this country, I truly believe, well, I'm going to say this. Our people wasn't all no one people at one point in time. We all came from a lot of different tribes. We couldn't even communicate very well with each other before we came over here unless we had a translator. So I think it's safe to say that we might be better off now because we all can communicate with each other. And most of us, all our bloods are mixed in. So we all are like one Africa. And so that's kind of like an advantage that we got, whether or not it was forced upon us or not. But, the blessing of it all is we've done something in this country that no Africans have been able to do. They still separate under tribalism. But yeah, man, I'm so glad that I shared this because this is a topic that I think is so relevant within our culture right now. To reconnect with our people, learn from each other, get some cultural exchange, and grow from there. Also like Europeans, I don't want to leave y'all out. Y'all are part of our DNA too. Y'all come from us too, but your people have done so much harm and lied and tricked everybody so much throughout the years that once everything turned around, we just gonna need y'all to stay off to the side. Maybe I'm gonna say maybe go back to Europe. Maybe, and all of us melanated people come up out of Europe. Because look, trust me, before they start coming to our countries, we was not thinking about going to no cold ass Europe. The only reason African dark people go in there because they claim to have all the resources, but all their resources come from pillaging our dang on native lands in Africa. Yeah, man. And get off of this oil economy that they got going on around the world. This stuff is finite. Our people, we was here so many thousands of years without relying on oil. So all of that is made up. We can go back. We can go back to a world without oil. Yes, we can. We don't necessarily need this stuff because what it's doing is killing the world. What good is having some oil if the earth isn't even going to be here? You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put this out there, man. Look, y'all like, comment, share, subscribe if y'all enjoyed this. I'm chilling up here in Michigan, Flint, Michigan. It's cold as the Eskimo toes up here, baby. But hey, we staying tapped in. We staying aware. Our minds ain't frozen. You know what I'm saying? Our minds ain't frozen. Our minds lucid up here. Yeah, I know I can just speak for me though. But yeah, come back. I appreciate your time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yo, it's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon Speaks Live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon Speaks Live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive.